Welcome back to Margaritas in Paradise. Hey, I kind of feel like it's maybe a little bit of a saga that's going on between my friend Gary and his new girlfriend, Sa. This is happening right now. It's crazy. What do you think so far after the last video? She's selling herself, I think, a little bit. She isn't asking for a lot of money or anything like that, but she is on a consistent basis needing to find money every morning. Let me know what your feelings are. If we find something really good, I'll pass it on, that's for sure. So let's press on. Gary ends up waking up late to Sa crying again. Gary's not a stupid man, but maybe he's a little bit naive. Right away, he's starting to think maybe there's a scam going on. It's kind of a red flag. He likes Sa so much. Ask her what's wrong, and she's crying. She says that her mom had a motorcycle accident. He says, well, what's going on with that? And she said, well, she's not hurt, but it was her fault. And she pulled out in front of another motorcycle. Anyway, when the police came and they fined her mother 5,000 baht. Of course, she doesn't have the money for that. Because of the damage that was done to the other motorbike, she has to pay 5,000 baht. So they have to replace the tire on that, and that's another 500 baht. So it's 10,500 baht. I feel so shy to ask you. She says, I already borrowed so much money from you. I owe you money, basically saying that she doesn't know how she's going to be able to pay him back, not anytime soon. And she just feels so bad because she doesn't know what to do. Gary, in his mind, he's thinking, she brings up that she owes me money and that type of. So maybe she really is sincere about this, that she plans on paying me back the money whenever she's able to get it. In the meantime, Gary is definitely thinking about the scam aspect of this. Could this really be a scam? He's in the mindset that she's not a bar girl. She's not out working bars, that type of stuff. She's just new. She's new to the area. She's not asking for anything from Gary except for these incidents in the mornings. And she's been taking care of him, which he just loves. And he's really falling for Sa. He's thinking, could she be different? And of course, we've heard that story before, right? So he told me that, and actually we were in a group of guys that he was telling, we were all rolling. He comes up to the conclusion that he's gonna offer Sa 15,000 baht to get her affairs in order, to get her family taken care of, and he's just gonna give this to her as a gift. This is money that she doesn't need to pay back. He's not going to have her worry about that in the future, that type of thing. This is just going to be money as a gift. So he mentions this to Sa, and Sa is so thankful, but she told him all she needs is 10,500 baht. She doesn't want Gary to spend his money by just giving it away like that. Anyway, and he thinks, well, that just proves it in his head right there, that she really is different. Here she has a chance to get an extra almost 5,000 baht, 4,500 baht, and she's saying, no, you keep that. This is how much I need. So he agrees to it. Later on that afternoon, Gary ended up meeting up with me and several friends at a little restaurant area and kind of updating us of what was going on. And it's a soap opera story. And the thing is that you have to know about Gary is he's kind of like me in a lot of ways, and he's heard all these stories before. He's not new to this. I feel like maybe he should know better a little bit. He ends up sending Sa a message at 7 p.m. says that he's going to come back and pick her up and take her out to eat. And she sends him back a message right away saying that she's on Koh Larn, which is the island 7 kilometers that way. She went out there with her sister, and they missed the ferry, and so they decided they're just going to spend the night out there and come back tomorrow. He sends several messages to her that seemed not to get through for whatever reason. He had a lot of excuses. He wanted to do a video chat with her, but she couldn't do a video chat. His connection would come up, but her connection wouldn't come up, and in the background it'd be a bunch of static going on. And there would be a picture, but it would be just a dark picture. So I think she was covering the camera screen, but I don't know. Anyway, she had a lot of excuses. Gary was like, just take a speedboat back. And she was like, well, I don't have the money. And he's like, I'll pay for it. I'll send you the money. and you can bring a speedboat for you and your sister back, no problem. She was like, no, we already got our room. We're going to spend the night. You can hear her in the background, speaking broken English about no girls. She trusts him. She's reversing what's going on, what I think that Gary thinks that's going on. I'm sure Gary thought she was over there with another guy. Anyway, he's not happy about this at all. The next day, she comes into his room about 11 a.m. and just runs to him, jumps on him, says how much she missed him, and everything seemed to be much better as far as Gary was concerned because she was back, she was there bright and early, but everything was kind of forgotten. The next morning, he can see that Sa is visually upset. Something's going on. She doesn't want to talk. She's not touchy-feely like she normally is. And she's just upset. So Gary, he kind of leans into her and asks her what's going on. She basically says that her family just finished harvesting rice. And by the time they ended up paying all their debts, there's no rice left to feed the family for the rest of the year. And she knows it's her responsibility now to provide an income for her family, but she doesn't know what she's going to do. So right away, Gary said, well, you do have an older sister that works at the bar. Does she help? Said, well, no, she really doesn't help because she's so old. She only gets paid 3,000 baht a month at the bar, and she gets a little bit extra from customers, but it's not enough to take care of herself. And sometimes Sa has to give her money as well. Of course, because Sa is so much younger, the family can count on her to provide for the family. Sa is just upset, and she doesn't know what she's going to do. She knows she has to go find a job, and several of her friends had suggested that maybe she should consider going and dancing in a go-go, and that she could make like 2,000 baht a night. She doesn't want to work in a go-go. She doesn't want to be with other men. She likes Gary. She wants to be with Gary. And Gary feels the same way. He doesn't want her to work in a go-go either. He wants her to stay right there. But now he's getting the feeling that maybe he's going to have to step up and take responsibility for her family so she doesn't end up going and working a go-go and seeing other guys. The last thing that Gary wants. Gary, at this point, really upset. He's emotionally upset. He's with this girl. He hasn't invested a lot in. He's only known her for less than a week now or so. He's loaned her a little bit of money, as most of us would expect would have happened by now. And this scenario is coming up. Is he going to have a full-time girlfriend or what? And he just doesn't know. And he in the back of his head, he also has this idea that he's possibly being scammed. What do you think? Do you think he's being scammed? Put it in the comment section below. Now, if you haven't done so already, make sure you give me a big thumbs up, that you're hitting that subscribe button, hit the little bell next to it for future notification of videos that are coming out. We kind of call a group meeting. We end up going to breakfast, basically, or brunch, really. And Gary tells us the story. He's got me kind of upset because I'm a little bit disappointed in Gary. I think he's seen enough of these scenarios happen and these stories go that he knows what the outcome's going to be. And I just hate seeing a friend maybe being taken advantage of. He asked us basically, what do you think I should do? And right away I step up and I told him I think that I would just set her free. Let her go work on a go-go or do whatever she wanted to do. But you need to run away from this scenario because nothing good is going to come out of this. Yeah, I think it's just going to keep escalating. That's what we're used to seeing. Another member of our group said, hey, if you really like, you should come up with an agreement, maybe a set amount, just move her in basically and let her be your girlfriend. Let her take care of you. You've obviously stopped seeing everybody else now. You're only seeing her. Offer her 20,000 baht or whatever it takes to satisfy her and her family and just take care of her. That way her family will have an income and you can press on. And right away, when Leo brought up this solution, we had another guy step in and say, hey, 20,000 baht, that's not going to be enough. You, as well as I do, that next month, it's going to be 30,000 baht. And the following month after that, it's going to be 40,000 baht. I can relate to that. I know personally that he's going to give that to her. It's going to be spent right away. The following week, she's going to need another 5,000. The following week after that, another 5,000. The following week after that's going to be another 10,000. Something's going to happen. It's going to involve her having to pay more money. We all know that basically what it came down to, and the group's opinion is whatever Gary decides to offer Saw, it's more than likely never going to be enough. And I want to put a shout out to Stan from Florida. All right, I appreciate the drink. Super generous. I don't even know how to thank you so much. I definitely appreciate it. If you're interested in buying me a drink, there's a link in the description below. Anyway, thank you again. Well, what do you think? Is this true love? This happens all the time in Thailand. This happens a lot of times in Pattaya. And does it happen with everybody? No, it definitely doesn't. And there's women out there that never want a baht from their partner. But it does happen to a lot of people. Well, like I say, this is an ongoing story. Right now, we're waiting on the decision of what Gary's going to do. I think he's probably going to offer her a certain amount of money. You know, my confidence isn't very high. You don't want to be the money solution for her. Like we mentioned before, it's never going to be enough. That's all I have for you. You have a great day.